Hello. Hello. And welcome to Recipe Club. Hi. I gotta do this again. I'm losing my fucking mind. I feel like I have mold in my eyes. Good day to you all. No. Listen, I'm tired, you're tired, we're all tired. Hi. Hi. Welcome to Recipe Club, the show where we cook your recipes and then do all kinds of crazy things to them. We're making a dish this time around that was sent in by a Recipe Club fan from Halifax over in Nova Scotia way up in yonder Canada. In this episode, we are cooking with cream cheese, also known as Philadelphia Gold, or big white block of xanthan gum thickened cow milk. We chose a recipe that is very special to a very small group of Canadians. It is called a Halifax Donair dip, and it's basically a kebab or a gyro, or in this case, the Halifax Donair mixed and mingled and deconstructed and turned into something that you can dip a chip into and scarf down at a party in order to get away from uncomfortable conversations. So we're gonna be doing all sorts of things with this Halifax Donair dip. And when I say we, I mean me, Chris Ying, and Dave Chang, and our OG Recipe Club wedgie, Priya Krishna, who are going to be taking this recipe for Halifax Donair dip and, like I said, taking it to the next dimension. But first, here's how you make Halifax Donair dip the original way. So this is Halifax Donair dip. Start with a can of sweetened condensed milk. Yes, you heard that correct. Sweetened condensed milk. Into a mixing bowl, you're gonna add 1/3 cup of white vinegar along with a teaspoon of garlic powder. Please stay with me. Give that all a whisk and set that aside and try not to think too hard about what you just did. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and start working on the beef part of this dip. Set a large saute or wok pan over medium-high heat. Coat it with a little neutral grapeseed or vegetable oil, then dump in a pound of ground beef. Make sure you lose the meat diaper and don't land that in the pan. Use a spatula to break that up. You don't want any big chunks of beef in your sweet Donair dip. I promise, guys, this is all worthwhile. Brown the beef, then start adding your spices, beginning with a healthy 2-3 finger pinch of salt and another one, a few twists of black pepper, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, a nice dusting teaspoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of paprika, stir, and just keep sauteing until that's all broken up and browned and fully cooked through. Remember to add dried oregano that you forgot the first time. If you feel like it's not spicy enough, maybe a little bit more cayenne pepper. Ooh, back to that onion powder, I guess. Feeling a little wild today up in Halifax. Once that tastes, like seasoned beef, return your attention to the bowl of condensed milk and vinegar, to which you are going to add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. Need that package. And squeeze it out in the least attractive way possible. Introduce half a cup of shredded mozzarella to the party. Squish and stir. Now use a slotted spoon to scoop the ground beef into the Donair sauce. Make sure you get all that beef. Fold that all together, then pour it into a skillet or casserole dish or baking safe piece of cookware. Slide it into the oven and let that bake for 20, 25, 30 minutes or until it's all bubbling and brown and fragrant and delightfully crazy. While you're waiting, you might as well seed and dice a few out-of-season tomatoes, along with, let's call it half of a white onion. Sprinkle that onto your melty, cheesy, sweet and sour, beefy Halifax Donair dip, and serve with your starchy vessel of choice. I happen to have some pita bread. Tortilla chips are great. You can use whatever you got. Okay, I'm gonna try this Halifax Donair dip from Mahalia. Whew, that's wild. It tastes like a kebab in dip form. Again, if you grew up like me, as a little boy, hustling in Halifax, I think you're gonna get a flashback to your childhood. It's rich, it is crazy tasting, super savory, and now we are gonna do even crazier things to it, if you can believe it. Let's start by taking this Halifax Donair dip down to Keto Town with Priya Krishna, whose challenge is going to be finding some way to make a sauce that is entirely based on sugary, sweet condensed milk and turning it into something that does not have any or very little carbs.
Hi, it's Priya. Today we are making this Canadian Donair dip. My ingredient is cream cheese, and I spun the wheel and got keto, which was actually a huge blessing because this recipe is incredibly keto friendly. The two things that I have decided to swap are sweetened condensed milk, which is a no-no on the keto diet, I think because of the sugar. And then the second thing is the tortilla chips. The only true low-carb vessel is like another vegetable. So I'm gonna turn this Donair dip into a vegetable stuffed with the dip with coconut milk instead of sweetened condensed milk. And I think it's actually gonna be really delicious. Okay, so first we're gonna make the Donair sauce. So I've got a can of coconut milk that is hard. This is my sub for condensed milk. Then a third cup white vinegar. 1 teaspoon garlic powder. All right. I really hate these things.
Priya, don't do that. You're going to ruin your teeth.
Okay, that's about a teaspoon. So it's mixing nicely. My coconut milk is more like coconut cream, but it's working. Whoa. Ooh. That's vinegary. Well, we'll see how it tastes in the dip. I put a just medley of spices, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, salt, pepper, you name it, onto this, and I'm just gonna let it brown. My Donair sauce was not amazing. My worry is that because coconut milk is not sweetened, it has like a natural sweetness, but it's not sweetened. I'm getting that like ultra tart taste because it didn't balance out the sweet in the sweetened condensed milk. Maybe I can add honey? I've consulted with Seth, who apparently knows everything about the keto diet. What's a sugary keto thing? Is honey keto? What about like Splenda? And I'm gonna add a little bit of Splenda into this to cut some of the tartness, and I think that'll help. The keto diet sucks. Okay, tasting this with Splenda. Better. Still not the most pleasant taste, but better. Sweetened condensed milk is great for a reason. I'm disappointed coconut milk was not magical, but let's see how it turns out in the finished dish. Because keto is a high-fat diet, I chose high-fat beef. 90-10 to be extra keto. I also found whole milk mozzarella cheese, higher in fat, and surprisingly, low in carbohydrates. Cream cheese, so low carb, so healthy, so keto. All right, now we are going to mix our dip. Combine cream cheese. Oh, you open these packets. Great. Mozzarella, half cup. All right.
A little cameo from Seth's hand.
Do we own a box grater? Oh, well, too late. I'm using this crappy thing. I would love a box grater.
Oh, that's my chocolate grater. Don't use that.
I'm sorry.
It's right here. Oh my god.
Just FYI, my father invented that grater, Priya, so you insulting it is hurtful.
A cup of Donair sauce. I would love to hear what the alternative uses for this sauce might be. It's not the easiest thing to stir. I'm just gonna show you what I'm working with here. It's just a big thing of gloop. I wouldn't spoon it. It looks a little weird, not gonna lie. It says some chunks are okay, so fold until well combined. This is not the most beautiful thing that I have prepared in my kitchen. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna taste this filling just to see what I'm working with here. Oh, wow. I don't know what to think about this. It's like creamy beef, very tart. Let's see how it turns out when it cooks. I've stuffed them into peppers. I've stuffed them into a portobello mushroom. My cup runneth over, but they actually look really good and they smell pretty good too. Here's actually my beauty. So first I'm trying the portobello mushroom that's topped with the onions and tomatoes as the recipe suggests. It's not bad at all. It's just like a creamy beef stuffed portobello mushroom. I will say, hats off to me. I think the portobello mushroom was kind of genius here. It's actually bringing a lot of flavor in addition to being a keto friendly vehicle. Tomatoes and onions are nice. Do I wish there was like less cream? Does it feel a little heavy? Yes, but actually the mushroom's doing a good job cutting through that along with tomato and onion. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Priya, you were a genius for stuffing the Donair dip in vegetables. I wasn't sure how I was gonna make this into a nice dinner, but like, look at that. That's a pretty good dinner. Would I make this again? Maybe with less cheese, maybe with just the mozzarella and no cream cheese. The Donair sauce is giving something, but I don't exactly know what, and I wonder what I'm missing with the sweetened condensed milk, because the coconut milk is giving the richness, it's giving the creaminess. I feel like this might just be like a completely differently flavored dish, but it's working for me.
Wow, it's just like that song, Priya. You put the meat in the coconut.
She put
The meat
in the coconut, she drank 'em both up. She put
the meat
in the coconut.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go to me. I'm going to make a version of this now that is very different from what Priya did. My assignment was to luxe this thing up. So I had to spend at least $150 on, once again, a very simple, very affordable thing. And I'm going to do my very best to overcomplicate it and quote unquote elevate it. I'm going to take Mahalia's Donair dip and try to make a luxe version of it, meaning I spent $150+ on ingredients, and I'm going to try to inject a little bouginess into this, what seems like a very delicious, not bougie recipe. I'm gonna have a hell of a time with this. I'm gonna see what I can do. First things first, I'm gonna try to spend a little money, a little effort on the dip vessel, the thing that I'm going to dip into my Donair dip. Mahalia suggests that you just use tortilla chips. I am gonna make some duck fat fried potato chips to start things off. So let's see how that goes. So first things first, I'm gonna boil some water. I'm gonna par cook some potatoes in there. A little vinegar. Potatoes. Let them soaking. I'm gonna try to wash off as much starch as we can before we fry them. Let's throw in a handful of these chips. All right, so here's my approach to this Donair dip. I've got cream cheese, which is what this is all based on, but I went and bought a bunch of other expensive, fancy dairy products, creme fraiche, fromage blanc, some yogurt, this strange white dressing from Modena for vinegar, some spices that are called for in the recipe, onion powder, garlic powder, oregano, cayenne. I got some coriander too, some thyme. And here's the hacky thing that people are gonna give me grief for. This is demi-glace. And I think that I'm going to lean on this for some real beefy flavor. Finally, instead of mozzarella cheese, I bought this little wedge of raclette. And in place of just regular commodity ground beef, I found this brick of ground Wagyu. All right, so these have been in for a few minutes. Just wanted to kind of par cook them. I'm melting a bunch of duck fat. This is the height of ridiculousness. While I'm waiting for the duck fat to render, let's get started on this Donair sauce dip base. So in place of sweetened condensed milk, I'm gonna use something sort of a more traditional dip base or dressing base and go with buttermilk. I'm gonna do a little buttermilk. I'm gonna add some maple syrup to stick with the Canadian theme. In place of white vinegar, I'm gonna add, like I said, some of this Modena white vinegar that seems very sweet again, but also has some acidity to it. And then garlic powder, as instructed. Oh, these Maritimers, pretty crazy, man. Whew, what else goes in here? We're gonna do, like I said, we have cream cheese. We also have fromage blanc, which is sort of a cousin. We'll add some cream cheese, just so it stays on theme and nobody gets mad at me for completely changing the recipe.
See, I put cream cheese in there. Even the luxe version has the original ingredient. Don't get mad at me. Oh my God, look how fast I'm whisking. It's insane.
Paprika, onion powder, cayenne, dried oregano. Some demi-glace. What? F it, as they say. Whatever. Here we go. I think that that's done. I think that's a dip. This is at 325.
Just to stay on theme with my over-the-top ridiculous fanciness, I've used a infrared laser thermometer or whatever to make sure my oil was at the right temperature. God, I'm such a douchebag. Those potato chips look pretty good though. Season the chips straight out of the fryer. Oh, it's so weird seeing your hands on camera. You think your hands look one way and then you see them on camera and you're just thinking, maybe I should just cut them off. I wanted more of a gratin effect here, so I put the cheese on top of the whole thing.
Cheesy, cheesy. Put this in the oven. I'm tired.
There's my dog, Huck. Hi, Huck. Good boy. Into the oven. Don't look at my oven. It's so dirty.
What's totally, absolutely crazy, and I should give more credit to our recipe submitters. I'm shocked at how much that tastes like a doner kebab, a donair, whatever. It's not overly sweet. It is pretty luxe. I mean, it is rich as hell. I'm gonna have a tummy ache tonight, but that is pretty righteous, man. Luxe-ified donair dip. Can recommend.
All right, that was my luxe version of the Halifax Donair dip. I'm not gonna lie, it was really delicious, and I now have so much duck fat in my freezer for which I will find a use, I'm sure. Dave's assignment this week, he drew Pantry Only, meaning he's gonna try to make a Halifax Donair dip using only shelf-stable ingredients, which I don't know how you do that. This is based on ground beef and cream cheese and all sorts of things that are not shelf-stable. But if anybody can do it, it's the pantry man, Dave Chang. I hope that catches on.
All right, I just put the kids down. So hard when you're solo. So I want to make this donair, and I have pantry, so shelf stable. Let's see what happens. I'm still figuring out what the hell this is going to be about. So, all right, these are the 3 ingredients I bought. Dry beef, chipped beef, powdered cream cheese, powdered mozzarella cheese. This is biltong, South African dried beef. And all I did was take the package and soaked it in water for, this is like 2 hours, and it's very tender already.
Dave's saying he bought all this stuff, but this prepper mother had all this at home already for sure.
Pretty good. I'm gonna make the donair sauce. Can of condensed milk, rice wine vinegar.
Donair sauce itself is already pretty shelf stable. So if the apocalypse ever comes, you can still have garlicky, vinegary, sweet milk sauce. So what Dave is unrolling right here is chipped beef, canned chipped beef. Whoa, 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 don't bring it so close. I don't want, oh my God. Momofuku Chili Crunch, always shelf stable.
Tastes really good. This doesn't taste that bad. I'm debating putting a box of this, the cheese in here. So I'm gonna mix everything together and then we'll see.
If that's the powdered cheese he's put in there, which, you know, if you're sort of thumbing your nose at the idea of powdered cheese and you like Kraft macaroni and cheese out of the box, well, you're a little bit of a hypocrite because that's basically what he's doing right now.
All right, I've been broiling this.
Damn, okay. There it is. How is it?
It's really good.
All right, that's what you get for bringing your Canadian dip down south of the borderways. We do all kinds of messed up stuff to Halifax Donair dips around these parts. Priya made her keto version. Dave somehow found it within himself to make this dip entirely out of insane things that I've never seen before. And you know what? I really like my version, and I really, really, really like cream cheese. I like it flavored. I like it unflavored. The only one I don't like, strawberry cream cheese. Can't do it. No good. Bad. But all other instances of cream cheese, delicious. And if you love cream cheese as much as I do, transition, be sure to continue to watch and listen to Recipe Club and keep sending in your recipes. We really enjoy being exposed to things that we've never seen before. Halifax Donair, let alone Halifax Donair dip, were complete mysteries to all of us. So thank you for sending this in. Thank you to Priya for joining us and making this keto friendly for all the keto freaks. Much love to you all. I'll see you very soon on the next episode of Recipe Club.